We have some major Miami Dolphins injury news that we have to discuss following the first Dolphins preseason game against the Chicago Bears on Sunday afternoon. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. We got one positive Dolphins update, and we have one update that is absolutely brutal for the Miami Dolphins. The bad news will come first here. That is with running back Alexander Mattison. He is out for the season. That is not good. He has been playing extremely well. Adam Schefter had the report early on Monday morning here that Madison underwent season-ending neck surgery Sunday afternoon following the game in Chicago. I remember when I saw the injury live, I was worried that it was a concussion, got up under his own power, walked off the field. McDaniel said post-game that he's not in concussion protocol. I was ready to make a video that we got good news on Alexander Mattison. Well, it's the worst case scenario. We won't be seeing him in a Dolphins uniform this year. This is why you subscribe to the channel, because we will have you covered with every piece of Miami Dolphins news that you need. We are 50 subscribers away from 71,700. Let's get there on today's show. Appreciate everybody who subscribed during our watch party on Sunday. We got more of those on the horizon, so join the channel today. But this is absolutely brutal for the Miami Dolphins. The biggest issue that Miami faced offensively a year ago was their inability to pick up 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 in short yard situations in the middle of the field as well as the goal line. While Alexander Mattison, the longtime veteran, was signed to alleviate some of those issues. And Madison did a pretty good job in the first preseason game. He only got 3 carries. 2 of them were at the goal line. And, well, one of them he converted and scored a touchdown. He did have another 7-yard run. So Madison was projected to be the RB2 to Devon Achane, in my opinion, in the specialized short yardage back. But that is no longer the case. These are how the 4 running backs fared for Miami against the Chicago Bears. And when you think about the entire offense and the running game for Miami, overall, it was just poor execution at the goal line. I mean, you start off with the first drive of the game with your 1s going against the Bears' 2s. You march down the field, get to the 2-yard line. It's 2nd and goal from the 2. Jaylen Wright, stuffed. 3rd and goal from the 1.5. Jaylen Wright, stuffed. 4th and goal from the 1. Jaylen Wright, loss of 3. That is just unacceptable. Then the next drive, Miami gets right down to the 1-yard line. On 2nd and goal, they tried a bootleg. Zach Wilson ducked the throw, and then they were able to punch it in with Madison. But it took you 5 tries from the 1-yard line to get in the end zone. That simply cannot happen. And Madison was supposed to be the person who solved most of those issues, because Jaylen Wright didn't look that good at that area. So now Alexander Mattison gone, that's no good. And sure, the offensive line can and should be blamed for a lot of the issues at the goal line 1-yard situations. They were unable to create a strong enough and good enough push against the defensive line to get a spot where they can get in the end zone. Also, I will say this. I am not sure that Jaylen Wright is the answer for the Miami Dolphins at the goal line situations. I thought Wright had a very poor first preseason game. It's a little bit disappointing if you ask me, because I expected a big second year for the second year back out of Tennessee. But the way Ollie Gordon ran the football makes me feel as if I would rather give him the opportunity to be the short yardage back with Alexander Mattison out for the season and the change of pace RB2 over Jaylen Wright right now. There's a lot of time between now and the first preseason game, or first regular season game, I should say, against the Indianapolis Colts. But if you are just judging it from the first preseason game, I don't know how you couldn't give it to Ollie Gordon. He ran physical, fierce. And a thing that I said consistently yesterday is that he is able to fall forward when being tackled every single time. It reminds me a little bit of Derrick Henry. Am I going to compare him to Derrick Henry? Absolutely not. No one should be compared to the King. But in that specific ability to always fall forward and pick up another yard rather than being driven back on first contact, that is something that Ollie Gordon does very well. He won the Doak Award in 2023 at Oklahoma State. he was absolutely dominant playing for the Cowboys. So you look at his production over his college career, you look at what he has been able to provide throughout training camp and in the preseason, and it makes you feel as if you could really see Ollie Gordon being the RB2 or short yardage guy. Now, there is a running back void on this roster. Miami is not going to keep 3. They are probably going to sign another running back. Who could that be? Well, we'll have to take a look at that, and there is a player that Miami is actually working out. We'll get to that here in just one second. But I do want to know who you guys think is RB2. Type JW for Jalen Wright or Ollie Gordon or OG for Ollie Gordon. I know the photo isn't the accurate one there, but hey, OG for Ollie Gordon or JW for Jalen Wright. Let me know your thoughts. And it's obvious that I feel pretty strongly about Ollie Gordon. Do I think he's overtaking Jalen Wright right now? No, I think that's a little bit aggressive, but I do think he will absolutely make a push for RB2 spot, and I could foresee him being that. But I do want to talk about the player that Miami is actually working out today, and I would be very surprised if we are not making a video later today about the Dolphins signing him. That is free agent running back Jamaal Williams, the longtime Detroit Lion, the longtime New Orleans Saint. This is another running back that plays very physical, very well in short yardage situations. So if you are looking for an ideal veteran to replace Alexander Mattison on this depth chart with the specific skill set that Madison possessed and was brought in to have, Jamaal Williams is a perfect player for that. So be on the lookout. We'll probably have a full breakdown about Jamaal Williams later today because I imagine Miami will ultimately sign him. Let's transition over to Elijah Campbell. There is an injury update on the safety who left the first half of this game against the Bears. And it was a lower body injury. It was a knee injury. It was scary. I was like, oh boy, did the Dolphins just lose another safety? Well, Campbell said to Dolphins media members after the game that he's fine when asked about his knee injury. And Omar Kelly points it out, like the injury, the way he was holding his knee, it certainly felt worse in the moment than it must have been. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just a bang knee, maybe it was cramps, I don't know. But Elijah Campbell seems to be fine, which is very good because the Dolphins clearly have a role for him because the Dolphins starting defense played 3 snaps. Like they put out everybody besides Jaelan Phillips. They had Bradley Chubb out there, Chop Robinson, Zach Sealer, all 3 snaps, Jordan Brooks. The starting secondary was Storm Duck, Kendall Sheffield, which is reflected in the Dolphins depth chart, but they, instead of going with a third corner, they went with a 3 safety look. Elijah Campbell, Melifonwu, and Minkah Fitzpatrick. So there could be an indication that Campbell's got a role for him this upcoming year. We'll talk more about that here in a second. But I do want to show some love to today's sponsor, which is Mando, the whole body deodorant that I love and trust. And I am traveling nonstop, and it's very hard to pack. You overpack, underpack, you forget essentials. It's a disaster. That's why I started packing smarter with Mando. And the Mando 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar is huge. Shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant all in one bar. They also have Mando Sweat Controls deodorant stick. That's also huge because it stops odor before it starts. Mando holds up even in the heat, even on the move. And the Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping. And one item that I always have with me are the deodorant wipes. I talked about traveling, packing, and going nonstop. Well, if I ever feel like I need a quick freshen up, the deodorant wipes are perfect for me. I literally never leave the house without them, whether I'm going to run errands or go to the gym. If I need a quick freshen up, it's perfect. Whether I go to work, you never know. Deodorant wipes is something that I always have with me. And as a special offer for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code CHAT. Use code CHAT at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered. Protect your pits. Smell great doing it. Shout out to Mando one more time. Link is in the description and comments of today's video. Appreciate Mando. And let's get back to Elijah Campbell now, because in this game, he ended up playing 19 snaps. So he did get some run, and he was in that starting unit, but he's not a player that was like so important to the team to where he's done after the number ones are done, right? So he got in some reps. And I think the way that he played and the role that he was in, I just don't want to like let this go under the radar. Like he's going to have a role on this football team if he's able to stay healthy. Now, maybe Elijah Campbell is in this role because Ashton Davis is hurt, and you would see Davis, Melifonwu, and Minka, and Campbell would just be a depth guy. But you see that Miami's probably going to be using 3 safeties more than 3 corners. It feels like that's the plan here. And I think that's reflected with where the Dolphins' secondary depth chart is right now. The Dolphins' safety room was in a bad spot, but then they were able to acquire Minkah Fitzpatrick. And now it's like, okay, now the safeties are cool. Now we're good. And I think that is the point here. It's like Miami prioritized getting Minkah back in the Jalen Ramsey trade rather than maybe getting a cornerback to replace Jalen Ramsey. So it's clear that it's going to be a lot of 3 safety looks for Miami. And like I mentioned, Davis being banged up is certainly a reason why that you saw a lot of Elijah Campbell. And maybe when Davis returns, well, guess what? Elijah Campbell isn't getting as much playing time. But this safety room is getting thinner and thinner, man. With Davis hurt, with Trader Jr. hurt, now Campbell a little bit banged up. Hopefully everything's fine. Now, I do want to quickly mention Patrick McMorris because I thought he was actually pretty solid. Ended up having an interception in this game on a great PBU from Ethan Bonner. Tipped it up, contested a catch over the middle of the field, popped up in the air. McMorris was right there to get the INT. He will certainly have a good shot to make this roster considering all the injuries at the safety room. Now, to round out today's show, I want to talk about the 3 starters that sat in this preseason game. 2 wide receivers and Jaelan Phillips, Now, Waddle will have more of an update here in a second, but we know Tyreek Hill's been battling something. Hopefully he's fine. And Jaelan Phillips, not 1,000%, still recovering from that torn ACL last season, and that's fine. If he's not feeling 100%, no reason to push him in the first preseason game, but I do think he should get at least some snaps in the preseason just so he's not going in rusty and raw to that first game against the Colts. But I did want to talk about Jaylen Waddle because McDaniel said after the game that the reason why Waddle didn't play is because of an injury that he picked up in Friday's joint practice versus Chicago. He said that he doesn't want players to play through minor injuries in the preseason, which makes sense. These games don't matter. Don't push it. Let them get 100% healthy for the regular season when the real grind, grueling days start. So, yeah, not going to be worried. The Waddle injury isn't serious because, well, McDaniel just said that it's a minor injury, just not the best thing in the world that he's already nicked up slightly. But I'll also say this. Jaylen Waddle and Tyreek Hill should not play once in the preseason. I'll be honest, there's no reason to risk those two. Those two are so important to what you do every play from your offensive scheme's point. Like, the speed and verticality that they stress on a defense is so key for players like Malik Washington, Nekros Burkini, Devon Acham to get open over the middle of the field. So you need those guys to be available for you. And if they're just even 98% healthy rather than 100%, they don't need the reps. They don't need the snaps. Leave them out. It's fine. Let me know. Make the call, though. Should they play in the preseason? Should one of them get out there and get a snap? If you think they should, type Y for yes or type N for no. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And as we round out the show, even though I'm saying I don't think Waddle or Hill need to play, I do want to see the starters play another drive next week. I want to see them finish a drive. Tua led that offense we mentioned earlier with the short yardage. They got stuffed. Like, I want to see them convert a scoring opportunity. I thought they looked good, but it was against the Bears twos. So let's get them another rep. One drive every game, why not? Then we'll be ready to roll fully healthy for the regular season game against the Indianapolis Colts. So that's kind of how I view it. But we'll have updates throughout the week on what Miami plans to do in the preseason game on Saturday against the Detroit Lions. And we have more videos coming and covering everything around the Miami Dolphins. If the Dolphins sign Jamal Williams, we'll make a video about it. Subscribe, join the channel, and I'll see you later with another video regardless.